Okay, why does a woman need a masculine role model or presence in her life? Because women are like children. Oh, that's going to piss some women off if they're listening to this, but this channel is more for men. But women, if you want to join in, that's fine. Women, being the emotionally driven beings that they are, make irrational decisions based on how they feel. We can see it in today's society. Feels before reals. How I feel is more important than what is real. For example, if I wake up this morning and I feel like I'm, how do I say without getting or stepping over the line? I feel like, how about this? I feel like I'm a cat. I guess I'm going to go around and meow all day. Or how about if I wake up and I feel like I don't like sexual experiences with anyone? So then I have a certain label I put on myself. I label myself. These are all feelings that come and go. That's why some of these people or groups have fluidity or fluid in their, how do I say, the names they use to describe themselves. Fluidity is a characteristic of feelings. Feelings come and go. And women, as I said, are dominated by their feelings. And we have a lot of men in our society today in the West that are becoming dominated and running their life by their feelings. Feelings are great. They have their place. Excuse me. But we cannot live our lives by feelings. We have to use logic. God gave us a brain to use. Although we only use, they say we only make about 5% of our decisions based on or using our conscious logic mind, the rest of those decisions come up subconsciously. As men, we have to use this logic. As I said, you need women to listen to men, to follow a man's lead. We need men to lead women. Women want to be led. Men are physically and emotionally more durable than women. That's a biological fact. You can't change it no matter how you feel. Now, are there exceptions? I always say yes, there is. But in general, that's the way it is. A woman gets an emotional crisis situation, she doesn't know what to do. You as a man should be able to handle that situation with calmness and wisdom. Not be ruled by your emotions. Feel the emotions, but take the action necessary in the moment to take care of things. Let's think about the men that died on the Titanic. Do you think they felt like drowning? Felt like giving up their lives for the women and children? Of course they didn't. But they allowed their strength of logic and wisdom to override their feelings. And that's something that 99.9% of women are incapable of doing. And I could relate that to the involvement of the court system in the marriages, families here in the U.S. Women have so much power that when they get emotional or they get angry, instead of thinking about long term, they think about the moment. They'll call the police on their husband because he's not doing what she wants him to. And maybe they'll make up a story. Maybe he said, I wish you were dead. In a fit of anger, of course, he doesn't mean that. Don't we all do things and say things we don't mean? She calls the police. He's an honest guy. He admits he said it. They haul his ass off to jail. She's got him kicked out of the house. Her girlfriends tell her, you never have to put up with that again. You don't have to tolerate that stuff. That's verbal abuse. Well, who hasn't said things that they've regretted, including women? Okay, so that man allowed his emotions to override his logic. It happens. But in general, that would have just passed. They would have calmed down, worked things out more than likely. But once you get the law involved, the system involved, then you destroy the fabric of the family. Was she in danger? No. Now, are there women in danger from men in their homes? Yes. And there is a time and a place to call the police. But not just because you're unhappy with the marriage or because you and your husband are having a disagreement, or one of you has said a couple words that you didn't like. Is the man going to call the police? Probably not. And if he does, he'll probably go to jail anyway. The Amber Heard, is that her name? That trial is a good example. She told Johnny Depp that, go ahead, call the police. Nobody's going to believe you. And she is right. The only reason that they did believe him is because he recorded it. I've been told that myself by women. They knew they could do whatever the hell they wanted to, because if they called the police would take their word over mine. That's a common thing. So look at the power they have. And then I've met women that have actually had their husbands or boyfriends thrown in jail, and then they go the next day because they feel bad and try to get them out. Because they got angry, they said some things that weren't true. I have a situation right now where one of my ex-wives said some things about me and my children that weren't true. And it's been 10 or 11 years ago, and it didn't cause me any problems, but it's caused her a lot of problems. And she is afraid to go clean it up, because if she goes back and tells the truth, she's afraid she'll go to jail. And I doubt if she would, but she might. Okay? There you go. She made a decision based on emotions, and now she can't rescind it without maybe causing her some problems. But the problems and repercussions it's caused her are enormous. She hasn't seen her kids for 10 years. Maybe she will never see them again. I'm not sure. In person. So there you go right there. A decision based on emotion. These things happen all the time because women have been given way too much power in the court system and the family. Now, granted, years ago, it was too much the other way, where a guy could just beat the hell out of his wife and nobody would do anything. That's not good either. Okay, I don't believe in violence, of course. I mean, unless it's necessary between a man and someone coming to invade his property or his home or hurt his wife or his children. If it's necessary, you use violence. You should be able to be a violent person if needed. But in these cases with the domestic situation, many times I've walked out of my house and had women hitting me on the back as I walked out, throwing shit at me. I didn't do anything, I just laughed at them. But in reality, what is that but an emotional storm? This was many years ago, where it wasn't quite so easy to have your boyfriend or your husband thrown in jail. But now, I feel bad for you young guys. It's very difficult for you when it comes to dating, or if you wanted to get married. It's really a very dangerous situation to your future, because 70% of the divorces are initiated by women, 50% of marriages end in divorces. And you're signing a contract that if the other person breaks it, they benefit. That's not a very good move, logically, for your future. So this is something you need to think about. I believe in marriage. As you guys know, I've been married 4 times. It's just that here in the West, a woman doesn't have to stick it out. Did they leave because I was beating them? No. They left because they wanted to go out with the chat. They got bored. And maybe that's my fault. I didn't lead good enough, I suppose. But I was a steady father, a steady husband, a good provider. I didn't drink, didn't do drugs, didn't run around. And if you think that's all it takes to keep a relationship going, well, there you go. What happened to me? It's actually easier to be single, but I believe the optimal situation to raise children is with a mother and a father in the home. So I guess with that being said, I would say vet your woman very carefully. Don't rush into marriage. I've done that. It doesn't end well. You really need to get to know her. It takes at least, maybe 3 to 6 months or a year to get to know her well. Probably a year or 2. And then they say you really don't know someone until you live with them. And I find that to be very true. I don't envy you younger men, because it's very difficult out there now for you to find a good, stable, reliable woman. It seems like they're very pushed to be career women. They can have it all, which is not true. What greater career is there than to keep your kids in the home and raise them with your morals and your values? But they're pushed and prodded and almost humiliated if they don't go out and get a job and have some kind of a career or go to college so they can be somebody. What's wrong with being somebody to your family, to your husband, and to your kids? Women don't realize that if you support your husband in every way possible, his success will increase dramatically, and whatever success he has rains down upon you and your children. And what is more important in life than family? I mean, when it's all said and done and you're on your deathbed, if you have a deathbed, if you don't get killed in an accident, what is going to be most important to you? The relationships you had in your life, your family, your friends. It's not going to be the 10th Lamborghini that you bought or the property that you bought down in Florida that you're making thousands on or millions on. All these things are good, and I love money. Don't get me wrong. I love what you can do with money. I love that you can help people with money. But in the end, you can't take it with you. So you just will give it away as you go. I said, Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie believed that you should give your money away while you're here. And really, that's the true gift. What if you're dead? You don't need it. So is it such a great thing if you give your money away after you die? That's not unselfish, is it? No. Give it away while you live. I'm a believer in philanthropy and giving. Now, I do it for selfish reasons because I know that whatever I give out comes back to me, multiplied. Because when you give some of your money away, it's telling the universe or God or higher self, however, that you don't need it. So you don't have that necessity. You don't walk around thinking, I need money, I need money. Guess what? If you walk around thinking you need money all the time, the universe will give you exactly what you say you need. More need, not more money. People who have money don't think about needing money. Thus, they just think about having money. And thus, they have more. Whoever has will be given. Whoever has not, it will be taken away from that person. That sounds like an cruel, indelible, is that the word? Law. But it's true. Whatever you have and whatever you focus on will grow in your experience. If you have debt, if you have lack, and you focus on that, it will continue to create more debt and more lack. If you focus on what you have, like the widow with the oil in that story in that big black book, what you have will be multiplied. I know that's difficult to do, but very important. I'm getting off subject here. I even forgot what I started talking about. Geez, I'm lost. Well, I guess that means it's time to quit. I hope you've got some value out of this. If you'd like to get my help personally, marksinspiration.com is my website. If you'd like to donate to keep the channel going, hit the PayPal button or the Cash App and donate whatever you feel the value of these videos are to you. And come on back tomorrow. We'll have some more. Take care.